Arsenal nil, PSG 1 in the first leg of the semi-finals of the Champions League, and a disappointing result, a disappointing game from us. I was very confident coming to the game. I just saw my previews the weeks before, anyone that knows me, and I didn't expect us not to score. And I got to give a lot of credit to PSG. They played a good game, a very good game. They play a lovely brand of football. They're a very, very good team in possession, and I think they surprised me a bit off the ball as well. The way they kind of kept us out, restricted us to minimal amount of chances. But I also believe that was a lot of Arsenal's doing. We didn't capitalise on what PSG gave us and what we could have done to, really open them up only on a few occasions. And yeah, a lot of individual performances that were disappointing, a lot of individual performances that was good. Disappointing decisions from Mikel as well during the game, but we'll get into it. If you're new or you're turning, you have already hit the subscribe button, smash the like button down below, and comment down below your reactions, your innate feelings towards this game. Tie's not over. First thing I would say. Probably will say it's only 1-0. I believe Arsenal could have scored in this game a couple of times. We also could have conceded a lot of goals in this game a couple of times. But I don't feel like Arsenal played up to their level. I don't feel like we played up to our best of our capabilities. And I could see that in the game, which still gives me confidence that if we do reach those levels, then we can still come back. And it's good that we didn't, take more than a 1-goal deficit going back to the Parc de France. Obviously, our start from the game, we conceded a goal very early. PSG played a lovely brand of football. I think it was like about 26 passes of beat Arsenal's press, and then obviously got down the left with Kvaratskhelia, and I think Declan Rice jumped to try and double team him when I don't think he needed to, and left Demebele on the edge, and then obviously Kvaratskhelia found Demebele, a lovely finish into the ground. Bodies in front of David Raya, hit the post and went in. And I think from that moment, for the first 30 minutes, Arsenal could not get into the game, couldn't settle down, couldn't get into the pace of the game. PSG had settled down, they got their goal, they started passing and moving, and Arsenal were routed. And I think it took us a long time to get into the game. It took us a long time to try and get a foothold, to just put passes together and just settle ourselves so we can get our attackers, some good moments. And I think that's what killed us. Like, I think the goal was like a punch in the mouth, and we didn't react fast enough to kind of, suck it up, pause, and then, get into the game. And I think after the 30th minute, we started to play football. Then obviously we started to create a few chances, started to get a bit more corners. We saw the Saka's, when he drifted over to the left, crossed the back post of Martinelli. I think he was offside. We saw Martinelli's 1v1 from a lovely play from Lewis-Skelly, from a driving one in midfield, which I think is the way you have to beat PSG. I think Villa showed it in their second leg with the players like Morgan Rogers and McGinn, and playing quick passes through. Like, you have to drive through their midfield. Their players, as much as they are so good on the ball, then none of them are known for off the ball stuff. Maybe João Neves is quality, but that's only one player. We saw the times when Declan Rice was driving through the middle, especially in that second half, and Lewis-Skelly did it for that chance, and it rose to Arsenal's two greatest chances. So Martinelli got that save. I think he should score. I think in those moments you want someone that's going to score. Don't get me wrong, Donnarumma, excellent goalkeeper, big keeper, got down to his ground early. I think Martinelli was trying to go to that far corner, but in those moments you just need a goal. Then obviously start the second half. I'm expecting Mikel to kind of get into the players. We got that corner, I think it was. Or was it? No, so free kick, and obviously Marino's offside, but we got a goal. Thought it was in. I'm pretty sure if we had got that goal, we could have gone on to change the game. But after that, we probed and probed. We were better than the first half, but nothing really definitive. I feel like the performance wasn't bad, but it was underwhelming. It was very, very, very underwhelming, and that feeds into the crowd. That feeds into everyone. We had another chance in the second half, which I think was probably our most notable chance, when Declan Rice drove for the middle, gave a nice ball to Trossard when the space opened up, and obviously pulled out a good save from Donnarumma again, down low to his left. I think those are our only two good chances outside the offside goal. We didn't really have anything else. We didn't really create anything else. I think Saka had a few good moments, driving in, obviously cutting inside, getting a few shots off. Nothing really. I think you could tell Arsenal a bit pressured. Kivio looked a bit shaky today. Saliba looked a bit shaky today. But yeah, it was a disappointment. Getting into individuals, the positive first before I get into the real negatives. I think Marino, after the 30 minutes, I think Marino was the first player to get us playing, to start to compose himself, not rush any passes, just boot it or try and force a pass. He was, taking a few extra touches, finding a pass and settling us. I think that allowed Declan Rice to kind of calm down and get into the game. Lewis-Skelly, you can tell he's a level above the rest. He was already composed for this game. He was already ready, drawing fouls, carrying the ball, trying to play passes in behind. I think Saka always has levels, despite him getting double, triple, quadruple teamed at times, was still beating his man, is still causing problems. Not enough that I would want, because I don't remember him having that many goal scoring opportunities, but enough to carry the team. Apart from that, I think Timber was okay. I see a lot of people online saying that Timber wasn't. I think In the first half, he got a lot of contentious fouls with Lewis-Skelly. I think I like it. I want my fullback to be physical. He didn't get a yellow. I don't think anything was like clumsy or silly, and I don't think PSG really penetrated down that left hand side as much as they did down the right with Doué at times, or down the central areas with their rotation. They're a very good team. I might have underestimated how good they are because I respect how much Arsenal's defence is, but PSG are really, really good. And you could see how dearly Thomas Partey or Jorginho was missed. Arsenal couldn't play through the middle, at least in the first phase. Rice struggled to get onto the ball in that first phase and dictate play, and you can see how much we missed Rice's legs up in the pitch, pressing PSG. When we were pressing, you can tell our press was out of sync, which was disappointing at times. I do respect the yards that Marino and Rice were trying to do, winning the balls back, but when we were in possession, it wasn't good enough. David Raya was good, pulled off a lot of quality saves in the game, and PSG could have made it 2-3-0. Barcola missed a glorious chance late in the game, should have scored. He missed the target. Then Goncalo Ramos also, I don't know, he toe poked it, missed a glorious chance as well to make it 2-0 at the time. But let's say Barcola took his chance, could have made it 3-0. This could be a whole different game, but luckily it wasn't. But yeah, so I'll get on to the individual players. I think again, Martin Odegaard was highly disappointed, man. Like, highly disappointing. Didn't do anything in this game. Felt like he was almost hiding. Don't feel like he was at least trying to do stuff. And I felt like the moments in these games, you need a 10. You need a player that's going to be able to, take a moment. You're not going to get that many touches in the game. It's a back and forth game if it's in quality teams. But you need your quality players to do stuff. And this game, he just didn't do it. Trossard was non-existent in this game. Apart from his opportunity, he didn't really do anything, didn't offer any presence. In the second half, his hold-up play got a bit better, but he didn't really offer us anything. And we daily missed, a player like Kai Havertz, but Marino that been filling in there, that physical profile that we could have gone long. Like, when we got the ball was wide, there was no point crossing it, because if it wasn't hit with any real whip or hit low, Donnarumma's like 6'5", he's gonna catch the ball. They have taller defenders than our attackers, so it just wasn't making any sense. Martinelli was a bit disappointed at times. I would say that last chance where he leaned back from Ranieri in the last moment, that chance that Donnarumma was saying, but he was probing and probing, trying to create opportunities. It wasn't good enough, but he was trying. I just don't feel like our attackers get enough service from our midfielders. The way I was watching PSG, their players are getting balls quick and in behind, or to feet quickly, that they can take on their man or cause some problems. Arsenal only a few moments, which is something that's been a pressing issue for a long time this season. It's disappointing what's going on with Martin Odegaard, man. And obviously, I'll refrain from getting too much into players right now, because there is a second leg, and a lot of these players can step up and win us the game, and I will look like a fool just cussing them so much. But depending on how this game goes, or even the final, there's a big conversation that has to happen at the end of the season in terms of reshaping and reshuffling the squad to make us more better, to make us more efficient, to make us more exciting, and create more chances, because it's just so disappointing. And yeah, to get on to Mikel Arteta, I feel like he took too long to make his changes. I feel like it's a game you don't want to rush. Yes, we have a lot of injuries, but you got to change something. You can tell already after 65th minute. I was watching with my sister. I was telling her, you need to change something, man. Obviously, yes, we only have the likes of maybe Ranieri. You could talk maybe Zinchenko really to change the game. He brought on Ben White. And Timber brought on Ben White for the last 10 minutes and brought on Ranieri in the last 2-3 minutes of the game, which is a waste. Like, Odegaard was poor from the beginning. Yes, he's your captain, and yes, all the stuff, but you got to be harsh. You've at one point stripped Aubameyang and thrown him out the team. I'm not saying Odegaard deserves that treatment, but if you're able to take that much of a stand, if a captain's not pulling up to the level, you should be able to drop him. And me personally, in the next game against PSG, I wouldn't start him. We know Partey's come back. I'll start a player like Ranieri, man. Me personally, man, because what have you got to lose? If Ranieri don't play well or didn't play up to the standard, it's not going to change that what we've seen from Odegaard for the past 6, 7, 8, 9 months. It was poor from Mikel bringing on Ben White. Obviously, Timber was suffering a lot, like 10 minutes before. I don't mind Ben White coming on, but make the sub early. You got some other players there. Take a risk. PSG 1-0 up. Made all 5 subs. We only used 2 subs. Come on, Mikel. You can't keep doing this all the time and think people are just going to not say anything. Yes, we can accept there are a lot of injuries. We have a lot of injuries. PSG had their full Arsenal, full squad to choose from. But we got to do better, man. It's highly disappointing, man. I had a lot of expectation. I didn't expect us to not score. I also didn't expect us to play so timid within ourselves. Our press was off. I would have loved if you just adopted a low block or restricted the space and didn't go out to press them a lot, because it wasn't working and they were cutting through us a lot. Their fluidity and tactical flexibility was really hurting us and causing us problems. out from when they're playing at the back, and we just wasn't. It looked like we were just chasing shadows. Like it was the first time I was seeing us. Normally we're onto teams, we're pressing, we're into the second balls. If you don't get the first ball or second balls, they were winning this first balls. If they weren't winning first, they were getting the seconds, cleaning up, composing themselves, and playing. What we normally do, we wasn't doing. It was unlike ourselves. It was unlike ourselves. Sorry, my apologies. So it's disappointing, man. Disappointing, but it's not over. There's another game next week in the Parc de France. I am confident that we can go there and win. We've seen stuff happen. I think it's going to be difficult for us, but I think we can do it. I think we have no other choice but to do it. And Mikel has to devise a game plan that makes sense to try and obviously get us into this good game. I don't think, as I said, we played bad today, so the game could have been different. If the Marino goal wasn't offside, it could have just ended up 1-1, and then we're going into this a bit different, saying, "Oh, we didn't play our best, but we didn't lose." But this is the situation. Mikel got out-tacticked by Luis Enrique today, so 1-0 to him. No pun intended, because 1-0 on the scoreline, but we need him to get his get back in that second game at least and devise a plan that can allow us to take them. I think the one main thing, I probably talked about in our preview, we need to drive through the middle. So whether that means Lewis-Skelly has to get more of an emphasis in terms of his role, probably will, because we will kind of return back to our normal style of play and the players playing position, or Lewis-Skelly plays in the middle, and you allow him and Rice to have two players that can carry the ball. But we need to drive through the middle, because PSG can't handle it through the middle, and then that draws their fullbacks or players into those players driving, which opens up space for the wide players or the striker. That's the way we need to do it. It's not a typical Arsenal way, but we need to play the game plan that is the best way to win in the game. That's all I have to say. Please subscribe to this channel. Please comment down below anything you agree or disagree with that I've said in this video. Please like this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video that I upload. Peace and love.